Contact play, one-on-one. Marv outside of the paint as they work together to take the 3 players down to Furia.
Dale Panchito, la primera quiere la segunda, Tyson le va a picar, lo tiene claro, le deja una, Panchito!
Hey everyone, it's Liz with GoKid from Leviatán. An incredible first map, stealing NRG's map pick away from them. What made it so dominant on the side of Leviatán? Was it prep, was it in-server adaptation, or something else?
I think 2 things. First, I think our prep was very good for how they play Sunset. And second, I think we're really getting comfortable on stage and play like we do on Prague. The guys were playing amazing individually and as a team. So I think that's the 2 reasons why we were so dominant.
All right, well, on to your map pick, so best of luck.
Well, from a 10-2 half-time for Leviatán, things didn't get much better for NRG. The pistol in the second half was wild. NRG salvaged like a 3v5 and then end up losing a 3 versus 1 at the end of the round. Utter chaos, and they cannot get it together, Mimi.
The game ended in chaos, but I think it started with an incredibly controlled game plan by Leviatán. Last time we saw them playing this map, they were running the loud Phoenix comp, trying to copy that one, but running this composition with the KO Gecko, we saw so many great protocols. I think in particular, the way they were approaching A main, these trap plays were crushing NRG, Mirna.
Yeah, they were amazing. They were actually flawless. Not only was there always one first layer of util, there was always that second layer to ensure that when they did end up pushing, the other team was always blind or was always stunned. Like, it was never just that initial set of util and that was all.
Yeah, and I really like the way they were bouncing their Cypher around the map, right? Calm, because of that kind of constant pressure towards main, Calm had a potential to be playing that more standard Cypher setup, or sometimes actually playing behind that trap and being the next layer as they re-rotate and change the heavy side. It was a great masterclass in defensive calling, and NRG just couldn't get their foot in the door.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of movement around the map made it that NRG could not adapt at all. When you're playing against a trap composition, you want to walk up, you want to bait these traps, but not at a single point were NRG able to do that. It felt like they were always hitting some sort of wall, and it is exactly because of the rotations of that Cypher around the map.
Can you not like bait these out? Like we've seen sometimes like Razors might try and bait a trap play and satchel out of like a fault line or something similar.
They really were trying, but Lev was just so good at holding it down and knowing not to push any util and not force it off of 0 sound. Like there was a play where they took B main and they naded and flashed, and Lev still just sat on site. They did not poke, they did not prod at all. They need to push past that initial barrier in order to get some sort of util out of them, but they didn't. They were so scared. It felt like they were just holding down.
I think you can see the difference between really great teams that really understand the idea behind the composition they're playing and teams that are kind of trying to mimic ideas they've seen before. And I think the best way to show that is when they're actually activating these plays. I feel like for less experienced squads or squads who aren't really putting as much into it, they'll end up just going into one of these plays, activating off one piece of noise, one piece of info, and getting really kind of like jittery with it. Yeah. But for Leviatán, they did a really good job of actually kind of working off those cues and figuring out when it was a commitment.
Yeah, they were so disciplined, and honestly, I apologize to Lev for what I said before, because I said I didn't think that they were going to be so solid
but
as a team.
But it's reasonable, because they looked so bad week 1, and now they've turned it around to be this team.
There's some serious depth, right? I think one thing on the other side of things we saw often see from Chet is that after he calls a timeout, they're able to convert into a round. There's a set play getting called. So I wonder what Chet's now able to do with this time in between maps. There's a lot to work on for NRG. Let's see what Chet has to say about that map 1. I'm sure he's thrilled.
Liz here with Chet from NRG. Your map pick really did not go your way. You took a tack after round 3 and then another one after round 8. And I know it might be too soon to tell because you haven't been able to review, but what happened?
I think we were just missing some crucial comms on like breaking the dizzy, and I think we tried to play to interrupt their retakes, but their util was really good for us when we were pushing, so they just counter util really well, and I think their plan was just to not let us play our game. They kind of played to interrupt us like constantly. And I think that's good by them. I mean, we're aware of it. We're just also just missing our kills, so that didn't help. We're just slow start, but I think we're still confident in our bind.
Well, best of luck.
So what is their game? If Leviatán are trying to interrupt NRG, throw them off that game, what do they need to be looking to return to on bind?
I think, honestly, exactly what he's saying, right? Bringing up those comms. If you're playing against a composition that has that dizzy, has this initiator tools, the best thing you can be doing as a team in the pre-round, talking about what util you're expecting to see in these moments, who's breaking what, who's going into that. I think some of that showed to be breaking down up against an opponent who was playing incredibly well. And with time to talk about that now, with the experience on this NRG squad, I think you can have some faith to at least see some sort of bounce back here.
Yeah, for sure. It's like smaller things, even all the way down to who's playing anti-flash, so they can swing off of all
and
the
those little things I feel like are really hard to actually talk about in the game, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like when you're in game and everything is going crazy, you're in a match situation. You have that mindset of we need to win. So you start doing things like hero plays that you normally wouldn't do. But that sort of discipline is what NRG I feel like are strong in coming back into. And for Bind necessarily isn't as strong as a chokehold map as Sunset. Like there is a lot more area to play with. There are teleporters, so you can make more plays, bait a lot more util out, and I feel like obviously going into the agent select, this is going to be a lot easier for NRG.
We talked a lot about this KO Gecko composition, and it's the exact comp that is ran by NRG on this map, as we're seeing here. Those same combos come into play, and their opponent also has a similar idea. This kind of second initiator paired with that Gecko is so prevalent. So those learnings that Chet was talking about, they're going to have to apply this to this game as well. On top of that, I want to see more of the individuals. Demon 1 was getting caught in those traps constantly.
How do you feel about who raised for Demon 1 at the moment?
I don't think that map came down to the raise as an agent. I think it was just playing against a really good opponent and struggling to have the right game plan to deal with it.
Now, surely this series has got to go to a map 3, right? There's no other way this one can go. NRG have to feel like they've got a lot more to show, and Leviatán would love to shut this down. Right Games Arena, are you ready for some map 2 action?
Thank you so much, Uber. Yeah, I hope you're right. I think I can speak for Dre when I say he hopes you're right, because this feels like a series that should go 3. But honestly, that first map was so against what anybody could have expected that I think we're just kind of like, well, who knows now?
Yeah, that was crazy. But a clean slate on this new map. And, you know, I don't think we've seen NRG play Bind in quite some time. And Ethan's playing the KO. So I think this could be really good for them. I think they could set up Demon 1 maybe a little bit better on this map than they did on, or then they tried to set him up on that Sunset. And, you know, they do have to be aware of the disruption that Leviatán like to do, especially on their defensive side. That's going to be a key factor in this series.
We'll see what they can do on attack. I think Mimi made a really good point when she said it didn't feel like it was the Razes who were the difference maker there. But NRG are trying to make that be the case here, as Demon 1 has a Frenzy and Light Armor. Investing into him a little bit. You see the Viper Wall splitting the map, and Demon 1's already dead. That wasn't off of a setup either. That was Tex just spamming.
Just got eliminated mid-air. And now here comes the infinite delay, but NRG already wrapping back sight, and that's why this wall is here.
King is in a position to get a lot of value if he plays his cards just right and finds the timing.
Ooh.
Ethan surrounded, and he's getting another. Wasn't far off. He's taking so much damage. 4 HP. Mazzino's trying to cut off the exits, and he does. Continuing right where he left off. Now there's so much left to do. Marv and Crash, he's the only ones remaining.
Spike planted.
Spike planted, and Marv is going aggressive. Holy smokes, he's up so far. Trying to draw a line in the sand much further than you would expect. Now Molly's going to delay for a while, buy some time. And that is the essence right now. Leviatán trying to trample forward as they push their way up. Spawn, the flash out first. Dizzy, an unfortunate casualty through all of this. As Marv swings forward, he dinks one, but that's all it can be. He crashes through it on his own. The dog in his face. Calm on the swing. The pistol for Leviatán again.
Oh my gosh. I thought for a second Crashies was going to line that up. He looks so confident holding it. Good for Calm to commit to that crouch peek. Understanding that that stun isn't a foolproof method of winning a round. I mean, we've seen so many times it be a cosmetic stun, right?
Dude, that's brutal.
I mean, what can he do about that? That's not even his fault.
Nothing. Nothing at all.
And then this kill on the Ethan was huge.
They're concussed.
I'm a pistol clutch guy, no!
Wait, that is the second clutch he got on pistol round.
I think Calm might be back, man.
Dude. I mean, if there's anything that he likes to do, it's prove the haters wrong.
He did it all last year, and he's done it so far this year.
Yeah.
Still much to do left, though. Still plenty of game to play. for NRG. No investment really other than Crashy's getting a ghost.
I really like how NRG approach the eco rounds. They always get some type of value, whether that's grabbing an orb or getting bombed down, or both in most cases.
Got him.
Marv's already lurking in this U-Haul area. Wow, what a cool flash lineup. It doesn't connect on a Marv, but the info is gathered off the audio cue. Now they're gonna re-clear.
He's gonna have to land the shot with the Sheriff, and he cannot. Tex clears him.
Man, the disruption that Lev does on their defensive side against this NRG roster has been so good, and the timings have been the most impressive to me. It seems like they always re-clear the right spot at the right time.
We saw it all last map, and we're already seeing it here.
30 seconds left.
NRG not liking what they're seeing B. They decide to flip the map as best as they can, farm a couple of orbs.
Yeah.
Right here.
And then really go from there. With their classics and one ghost. They're gonna try to find some space and get out onto the site.
Oh man, easy pick'ems for
Down
Ospas.
A. One enemy.
He was quiet in the first map. Relatively quiet anyway. Quiet for Ospas' standards, but
You mean he wasn't dropping 50 in one map?
tragic.
Yeah, that's quiet, huh?
You want to dance? I'll leave.
Tex, 2 orbs away from the Gecko wall. Crashy's already sitting on it. And some decent guns here from Lev on this bonus round. Little highlight reel. The eco frags, always satisfying to witness.
You're right though. There is some weaponry behind this. Mizzino has a Phantom, Ospas with a Guardian Sill. So there is a little bit of bite to this, and Calm feeling some of the pressure. Hearing all of that noise is going to give the space up. Ethan gets the orb. Or at least we'll try to. He's what, halfway to his ult?
Yeah. It's just a pretty standard hold in general right now. Just a 2-3 setup. Nothing to re-clear so far. Calm will use Dog though to get info B long, and that should cause a rotate potentially.
And they got some info there, but the knife.
Oh my gosh, King is so smart. He literally dipped at the perfect time, dodged the knife, and he's already back in. This might catch Ethan off guard.
I think the thing is the knife is going to keep him here. Meanwhile, the rest of NRG is A. They have 4 over there. The spike's there too. I feel like it's just enough, just a little bit, to stop Calm and King from rotating A.
Ospas is just silent tucking on that short box.
Crashies uses the Thrash, trying to clear out as much space as he can. Didn't fully clear out. Got a lot of space with it.
30 seconds left.
I think they're just going to try to delay plant as long as they can. Buy time for the rotates to come in.
And they're hot to trot. They're on the way.
Maybe a stim peek from Shower.
I mean, literally everyone is here except for Calm. 9 members huddled into this one little site. Demon 1 falls. 13 seconds left. The spike not committed to yet because there's the delay that you mentioned. It's the 3rd, the 4th attempt. And I don't know that there's going to be enough time to get it down.
One enemy
The
remaining.
nade is perfect. There is no time.
Yeah. What a gorgeous display.
That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful, the way that they played backside, waited for the rotates to come in. And Demon 1 getting a little too antsy there. That flash did not connect on anybody. It was shot instantly out of the sky. So Lev was ready for that too, though. They're ready for the backside fight and using their bonus guns to their advantage. I feel like 9 times out of 10, when you're close range like that with a
10
Spectre,
seconds left.
you tend to win the gun duel, even if it's against a Vandal.
Oh, for sure. Just wasn't the case this time.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, that's tough.
Vibes
It's
are
all falling apart right now.
Oh yeah, and on the other side, vibes are at an all-time high.
Yeah. And they're not too hype either. They're very calm, and that's what you need from your team. Especially a team like this, who, when they're so dialed in, it just seems like they can compete with the best of the world.
And I think that was the expectation for this team when it was built.
Look at this exec.
Calm is flashed, but King is holding the line.
Oh.
I mean, we've seen this before. But finally, a little bit of room found. Demon 1 and Marv, the only 2 remaining. They've both taken a fair amount of damage. But they're dishing it right back. Can Mizzino pull it off on his own? Yes, he can. The Red Bull clutch in the 4th for Leviatán.
He's doing so many things right now. winning the 1v2, just jumping out of hookah there. And yeah, it was against pistols, but it still matters.
Yeah, it's a 1v2 still.
Yeah, and the round previous, even just checking the guy in showers. See the highlight of King getting this 3K that he got. Beautiful. Dude, he's on point right now, too. Everyone from Lev just seems to be so ready for this moment. Like, they've been waiting for it. Like, they couldn't wait to get in the server. But yeah, the round even previously, Mazzino, when he checked showers, just that little micro decision.
He has his ult online now. And you see there's a little bit of help. Tex close by. He's still playing showers, as you were mentioning.
King has played a different angle in this hookah area.
Like every time.
Yeah.
The dog clearing out long. The orb should be his for the taking. But not fully convinced. He uses another flash on long, and that's the cue for him to leave.
Yep. He can just lean for free right now. This is the tough thing about running no sentinel on this map, or having no one defaulted on the other side of the map. They're so ready for this hit. I think they're gonna fight it this time. I don't even think they're gonna try to delay the bomb. I think they're gonna try to fight them in short.
Well, I think the thing is they have the tools for it, right?
Yeah.
They have Tex's ult, they have Mazzino's ult.
If Mazzino goes down here, though, that would be huge for NRG.
No smokes left.
The timing. Oh, Roomba is used, though.
Here's the thing, though, as you mentioned, if they try to rotate out and they try to go through market, there's going to be a lot of presence there. Demon 1, ult not landing, but the bullets do. Numbers in favor of the attack, still looking for their first round, but holy smokes, they might have snatched this thing back.
Oh my gosh.
Tex and hotspots can do no wrong.
And the wraparound from King as well. Foolproof.
Seemingly delaying the inevitable crashes with 7 HP, cannot convert onto anything.
It's like I said, they're ready. They're positioned to fight this time. And these are the little changes of just pace that Lev has been showing on the defensive side. They played back sight like the last two rounds. And now they're going to take the fight to them. This is so enjoyable to watch.
I think the scary thing is, too, they've managed to keep a lot of these ults. Mazzino still has his.
Anything.
Yeah, Tex still has his, and now they've got us.
5 ults online, Doug. And they're up 5-0. But they need to secure rounds like this, where NRG has the stingers and pulled off a crazy strat.
Demon 1 satcheling forward, still trying to take a fight, and once again plucked out of the sky.
Got punished again.
It's been kept on a short leash all series.
Yeah, that Gecko is going to force the TPs. He's going through it!
And he still gets his one. I'm imagining he saw Crashies, but he may have not.
I don't think he saw him in the actual TP. But it doesn't matter, the proactivity from Lev.
One enemy remaining.
They're such a good cohesive unit right now, Doug.
Holy smokes.
I mean, just from that info gathered from that Thrash ult, understanding that Marv got a kill on one of the players short that was trying to re-aggro from Lev, that allows him to take all of that space down B long and get the one up on the enemies that are trying to back up from that hookah area. I mean, they're so aware of the map right now, all 5 players, and how they should be filling in the gaps that are there. I mean, Osbox doesn't even look entertained right now.
And you're right, you mentioned it earlier, they're stoic. I mean, they're calm, they aren't popping off like crazy.
And another crazy start, 6-0. Timeout being used not too early on this time around. But man, it might just be one of those days where it's just nothing goes your way. And that's the unfortunate reality of the game that we play at VALORANT. Sometimes it just be like that, man. And all the VCT teams, they're all so close in skill. Truly, anybody can beat anybody. I mean, we saw even Sentinels get taken down by this Leviatán roster. They all came with something to prove.
I think there's just so much left to be desired here for NRG. Demon 1 went 0-9 in first kills, first deaths on the previous map.
Wow.
This map, he's 1-3.
Wow. crazy stat line.
Nothing is really changing. The map is different, but it feels like a lot of the same story.
And honestly, it just feels like he's getting killed on the entry every single time. And it's something that we don't really see Demon One do so much. Usually he's more of a duelist that kind of sits a little bit back and allows the game to be a little bit slower of a pace. So now that he's playing more aggressive, his team isn't there to back him up and he just gets punished. And how many times have we seen him die satcheling into sight? I feel like every single time so far.
Finally, some signs of life.
Yeah.
Coming out from Marv, but can they convert on this? I think that's the question. If Demon One gets some space, they can flip the map, or they can stay. That's certainly not going to help their cause. As soon as there's attack, you see the spam go through. What? He still gets that kill? How has he gotten away with it? Ospas is going to be late to the rotate. King in a perfect position as he gets two.
Dude.
Demon One and Crash is only two left standing.
Dude, this is insane.
30 seconds left.
Unbelievable.
It's the same narrative as last map. They cannot do no wrong. Mazzino, they're just spamming and living for long enough for King to just get a backstab there. But NRG just not aware of the gap that could be made. And honestly, it kind of fell down to Vic with the little whip there. I feel like any other day, Victor kills Mazzino in that situation. I mean, he must have shot at least 10 bullets.
8 rounds into the second.
I mean, even with that flash, it didn't do anything. It didn't even connect.
Oh. Mazzino.
Yeah.
I mean, Mazzino's just unbelievable right now. The series he's had so far has arguably been like a life series. And he's far from done.
Yeah, but Marv's had enough. He's trying to take things into his own hands.
I mean, he had enough in the last round. Just when it feels like there's a little bit of room for them to find some space, it all crumbles!
The utility is too good, and Victor kills himself with his own ult! Everything is going wrong for NRG today!
This feels like we're watching a Shakespearean tragedy.
Oh no!
To remind you, on Sunset, it was a 10-2 half. They had won 7 rounds in a row in the first half. Leviatán did. They're at 8 so far.
I mean, they're just trying to speedrun today, apparently. Like, they must have some dinner reservations or something tonight.
This is just wild. To think that we're on the second map of this series.
No. I mean, to be fair, there's not much he can really do.
Yeah.
And you can even see him laughing. I know it seems kind of troll. He died to his own ult, but what was his choice?
Yeah, he didn't have many options.
I mean, he's going to die to the enemy Brim ult if he doesn't do that. Do they clear calm here? Oh,
they've got Aspas to help, and they have Tex with the Dizzy over the top. I mean, that's the cue. The flash just dropped. The bodies do too.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. Off contact. Gecko flash comes out. Then Calm uses flash for the people that are behind it.
Gotcha. Crash Use is going to fall. Marv and Victor left alone. Desperately looking for any sort of a spark, a catalyst.
Every timing, every shot.
Smokes down.
Victor with nothing to do.
4 players looking at him.
Leviatán have played this entire series and as close to perfect as you could possibly ask for.
Yeah. And at this point, I mean, the NRG, they just look defeated.
If you had told me that we were going to be, 28 rounds into a series and NRG have won 4 of them, I would have called you a liar. I mean, I would have called you insane because there's no way, right? Yeah. But here we are, where they only won 4 rounds this entire series, and it was in the first map. And again, guess who's top fragging for Leviatán?
Mazino's on something, bro. He's so good right now.
And we're starting to see this roster like really come into its own, right? We knew Aspas was going to be good. Calm is delivered, or excuse me, King is delivered, right? He's been exceptional so far for Leviatán at the beginning of the season, but Tex is going, or excuse me, Calm is going back to the Calm of old. Now Mazino's top fragging against NRG, who are considered to be the best team in Americas, a team that hadn't lost a single map up until this point. This Leviatán, I mean, this roster, the way they're playing now, these guys, they look like world enders.
And I think it has a lot to do with like the roles that you're talking about as well. I think Tex is actually very, very good at Gecko. And Calm, he's been filling very well. He's no slouch to Sky. He filled in that Cypher role on the last map. It was great. And King has honestly stepped up with the IGLing too. He showed even more layers than usual.
11-3. They're just doing this in such a masterful way.
Yeah, this is very, very impressive. And this is not easy to do.
And it's also not with Aspas dropping 40.
Nope.
Right? I think that would have been the expectation for most, but alas, they're doing it by committee.
Look at that. They're so confident. They want to disrupt. They want NRG to have to use utility on these early chokes, so when they actually go for the site hits, they have nothing. And then they just win the util exchange. Like even there, they just walk up short, go for a peek, get out instantly. And now they're gonna re-aggro again.
Oh, really feeling like they were ahead of that.
But NRG's not reacting off of this at all. They should already be taking the A site. This hesitation that is coming through.
I got this. I'm out.
And they're close. They haven't committed to it yet. Barbed has his pit. Crashes has his ult. The knife not tagging, but the dog's already out. Mazino with a lot to do. And to the surprise of no one, Mazino wins it out again. He gets 2.
Monster on the loose.
Goes on for the 3rd, but doesn't land it. Aspas still back sight. Tex has been caught, but it's just momentary. It's just a slight delay. You see NRG disciplined with it, not forcing any of these fights, understanding they're in a position to win a round. And not wanting to squander it, not wanting to throw it away. The pit goes in, and King's behind enemy lines. He's so far up. Aspas snaps!
What a freak! Before that, he also spammed crashies on top of the box. No, the crowd's going wild. And Lev is just calm.
This is a beating unlike...
That's how he killed crashies?
Yeah. This is a beating unlike, I think, anything we've seen in recent memory.
I mean, especially with the caliber of team. I mean, maybe if you're talking about a team that's already lost a bunch of matches, you know, like a Fieria.
Yeah.
But this is like, this is unheard of. I mean, before this match, I was definitely looking at NRG as a top 3 team in the league, in the world, potentially.
Leviatán brand circles around them, and they've done it at their pace. They've done it their way. The disruption has been way too much for them to handle. They fight in 2s. Marv was just overwhelmed there. And look, dude, this util dump is insane.
And again, they're gonna get proactive with utility once more. This has been the name of the game in this series. It's just proactivity, clearing out everywhere that energy deposits. Just the util is phenomenal.
It's perfect.
Even the dog to spot the shower walkout right there, so nobody U-Haul has to worry about it. Oh, jeez.
I mean, they're calling circles around NRG. Their utility usage is masterful. They're winning every single gunfight. They're getting free kills through smokes.
30 seconds. Ready.
What do you do in a situation like this?
You try to not get 13-0'd is what you do.
Dude,
anything that you can do to not be 13-0'd, you don't want to be the first team this year to be 13-0'd. Have we seen one yet this year?
No.
I don't think so.
Look at that timeline.
Shot my wingman.
Start to see some of those kills come through again. This has effectively become a frag movie for Leviatán.
It's crazy.
The YouTube video is going to go nuts.
Normally when NRG starts on attack, they take their time and really work out how the enemy defense likes to play. But Lev have showed so many different looks on both maps so far, and their timings of the retakes of just space in general have been perfect.
Demon One looking to take any space that he can, and he's going to have a walk through lava to get it. The ult doesn't land. He takes a bit more damage on the way back, but they've gotten the spike down. The thing is, they have a lot of retake util on the other side. Oh, he got a little bit too far. All three of them! Victor falls! But fortunately, that's all it was for them, as they seem to be punching back. But the punches have nothing behind them. What can Mark and Ethan do? They pop the ults. The spike has been ticking away for a little while now. Leviatán are going to have to go aggressive with this. The Stinger and a Spectre. Ethan with 3 on the round.
He's so good with the Stinger, man. No shot.
Are they going to have enough time? No. I think it was a little short. That's how they went around.
Hey, no 13-0, and that's the bright side for NRG. That is the sigh of relief. Listen to that.
That's the first time NRG fans have had a chance to celebrate this entire half.
And the players, too. I mean, you don't want to get 13-0.
That's, yeah. Yep. Well, so that's how they went around, to the surprise of everyone.
I'm not surprised because NRG with Stingers.
You're full. I'm not even gonna let. No, I'm not gonna let you finish that sentence. We're gonna throw it down to Ender at the telestrator. That's crazy. You're not surprised. Get out of here.
11-1 is the most dominant half we have had here in VCT Americas, and it starts really in round 3 for Lev, winning out in this bonus. We're hot dropping into this round with 45 seconds left to go. At the start, NRG put down some pressure into B to threaten that there's space there, but already we can see that back up in front is Calm. So Lev are not faked out that they're eventually moving over into the A site. And NRG are going to try to hit this site with the Thrash and a Flash combo coming in. But right now, Leviatán are all playing very far into backside. See that little play coming in right there? It's a little nice. Flash through this Viper at the same time Thrash peeks for it, and they're going to get full control over U-Haul. But it's still not easy to plant the spike, and importantly, that was the last flash Ethan had in the round. There's not many great options to fight into backside now, apart from Crashy's Dizzy. So, as we get in here, you will see the first problem to arise for NRG. This Viper Orb right here is stalling out the plant. So, NRG say, we're going to wait out that Viper Orb, it's okay, and we're going to instead try to maybe creep up and figure out what's going on in showers. Because right now they only have 4 players in main. They have no presence inside showers whatsoever. And as they wait out that orb, they wait it out, they look for this peek that comes in, but Victor can't find the kill. They're now realizing panic mode has come in. Players could be flanking, so now they're turned around looking at that. Brimstone is in Narnia, and they still don't have pressure on this plant. So they say, let's flash into backside, let's create some pressure with the Dizzy. But the problem is, that Dizzy gets instantly broken because there's no flash to combo with, and Demon One falls because Tex isn't flashed. Then the Brimstone smoke from Azino is stalling out the plant. The orb comes back up. There's just no time to work with, and because they don't have control over showers, the entire plant falls apart. It is a disastrous first half for NRG, and they must win this pistol. Back to you, Doug.
Yeah.
Very well said, Ender. Thank you for that. I think Leviatán, as we've mentioned, as we've talked about a couple times, they've played a perfect series up until this point, or as close to perfect as you can possibly get. The fact that they've lost 5 rounds this entire time has been outrageous.
Yeah, when you win in a blowout of this fashion, you're not actually showing everything that you have. So we actually haven't seen the full playbook of what Lev has in store for other teams. Winning like this is so good for your team.
Oh, it hit him in the face.
That's on purpose, but it still doesn't fully dodge it.
Silence before gunfire ups as almost everyone on the map is grouping up towards A short. Demon One, the tip of the spear with Crash. He's not far off. Tex takes the first bit of damage, and there we go. As a barrage of bullets fly across, we see things settle down. A 3v3 Tex, much worse for wear. Aspas is taking a little bit of damage as well. And they cut noise. Now reconsidering this. Marv still playing on the other side of the map, understanding if they flip through Telly, he'd be in trouble.
Yeah. He's going to start flanking right now, which is a good call. It's going to be a double flank from Crashies and Marv. And Ethan's job right here is just to delay as much as possible and make sure it's not obvious that a flank is coming in. He needs to show more presence, but safely, right? Because if he doesn't, sightlines will be adjusted behind, but that doesn't happen.
King with Molly in his lap, has to take a step back. Checks with 22 HP, and you see him. They've been corralled into U-Haul. They're gonna have to fight their way out of this. And it's Ethan who wins that one out. They're just gonna stick to the defuse. King has nothing he can do about it. NRG get their second.
Nice. Good pistol from NRG, committing on that short 8 by not rotating off of any timing, just waiting. And then the reflank from Marv and Crashies. Ethan playing in that CT spawn so perfectly, it just worked out superbly. And this is the NRG that we like and that we have come to love because they play the fundamentally correct style. But I don't know if it's enough to make a comeback this crazy.
No buy for Leviatán. Patient with it.
Oh, I thought this through.
Took a little bit of damage there.
I mean, when you're up 11-2, you just get a different type of confidence. I mean, this team has clearly already been confident going into this series, but you start taking a lot more risks and doing things that are just not the meta. And NRG need to be ready to punish moments like that if they come.
Now look at the respect that they're showing them. They're so far back. The only person who's really up is Demon 1.
Yeah.
Leviatán very carefully approaching this round with the pistols that they've brought into it. A heavy lean towards B, and that's where the majority of NRG is.
And this will be a double flash play off a contact from Crashies. So once Crashies gets contact here, Ethan will do a pop flash, and then Crashies will throw his flash after. Here it comes.
There are the flashes that you mentioned. That's the dog. Nowhere to go. The gun difference on full display here for NRG.
One enemy remaining.
Tex, no shot he can do anything there. Marv gets 4 on the round. NRG gets a 3.
Super nice setup.
Yep.
But finally, we get to see the flash combo working out for NRG. I feel like a lot of the rounds that we've seen them try to combo up that Gecko flash with the KO flash, the Gecko flash hasn't been getting much value.
Yeah, it gets cleared instantly, you're right.
Nice, a lot of players blind here, and the wall comes up at the same time. Good protocols. But a lot of info gained for Lev on how NRG likes to play a passive hold on that B site. So if they decide to hit again, expect a Gecko Molly to land on top of that default box, pushing Ethan out if he decides to play there again, or anybody else that plays there.
Yeah, forcing him to swing into the crosshairs.
Yeah.
Smoke's down.
Those are the type of things that you need to read into, even on the anti-ecos or your eco rounds.
You've seen Vic try to do this twice now, where he tries to push the Viper Orb off of its placement. It hasn't really netted much of anything.
Yeah, I almost think you want it to land a little bit more right. Bounce it off the right side of the temple of the dome. Might need a 7 head for that one, though.
Right here.
Oh! Well, that might have been 7 head right there.
Yeah. Actual.
Here.
They're again going into the stack. 4 members of NRG are here. The dogs can clear U-Haul, and they can go off of that. There's so much that's covered by these
30
smokes.
seconds left.
And instead of just going for a safe plant, they're going to push back into spawn. They're going to fight back side with the flash over the top. Leviatán get them both.
And now they can flip. Keep the guy in pocket and have a crossfire on his site. And this is going to be a double swing potentially. Tex!
What a cool idea.
Oh, man.
Aspas is ahead of it.
One enemy remaining.
Marv trampling forward. Can't really do anything. How does Ethan win a 1v3 like this? He can't.
Yeah. Great reaction from Lev to push back site there. Take over the CT spawn, the defender spawn.
Then first shaft.
Marv just not ready for that. It's tough because he has to clear so many angles while that bomb is ticking down.
Right between you.
You know, you and I have talked so many times about how it feels like impossible to hold backside on A. And that's just when people are playing things standard.
Yeah.
When you have them clearing through U-Haul, a flash over the top of truck, and then a fight backside is just incredible.
And I don't know who was in heaven there, but I think it may have been Crashies. Just ended up whiffing when Victor needed help the most. Leave a tech pause. 12-3 tech pause. You hate to see it, ladies and gentlemen.
This feels cool. Oh, was there a spill? There was a spill, wasn't there?
A little too hype. From the side of Lev, I think.
I think it was calm.
I mean, he's crazy for playing with that drink so close to his right hand. I'm flicking that every day of the week.
Yep. Back into the action. It was a momentary one. Round 16, a 12-3 lead for Leviatán. You can hear the crowd trying to will NRG back into this series, but it almost feels too little too late. Crashies on the cross. Nice. They got the kills they're looking for. The potential for more. You can tell they want to go aggressive, but wisely take a step back.
Poison orb emitting.
And just like that, what, 20, 30 rounds into the 30 seconds into the round, it's over. Because surely Leviatán to win a 3v5 to win the series, right?
Don't do that. Don't do that, man. If Crashies went down there, I would have had to come over there.
Texas taking a little bit of damage here. Demon 1 online.
Spike down A.
But is it too late? A flawless round for NRG as they get their fourth.
Yeah, NRG so far in these early round exchanges on the defensive side have gotten the best of Lev. Even the previous round that they lost, they were up 4v3. And I like the way that they repositioned after getting those 2 picks. Demon 1 going into U-Haul, changing his spot, playing a little off angle. Yep. And just letting the kills come to him. And that's the Demon 1 that we know. That's where he shines the strongest. When people swing into him, he just instas them. He had a really tough time on that attack side entering on the raise.
Yeah, he did. Shoddy buy here for the attack. They do have Texas ult, though.
Yeah, this will be a short A hit.
And I think, again, it's not 4, but they are pushing into the majority of the NRG players. 3 here, 2 of health showers. You imagine King is going to try to take some late space there. Oh, that's in the molly. Stays alive, though. Demon 1 trying to creep forward. King waiting on the other side, and Demon 1 knows! Oh, that's not how that was supposed to go.
Stinger too strong, Doug.
Aspas up top. Not able to find anything with the ult. It's all into Marv and Vic now. Trying to keep this series alive.
One enemy remaining.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Wow.
Marv in a 1v5.
They're running him down like a dog.
Complete obliteration from top to bottom. Any given Sunday, Leviatán destroy NRG.
Wow. NRG. I mean, I don't know what to say, Doug. It's not the end. That's what I'll have to say. It's not the end for NRG.
Oh,
they're still in a good spot. Their schedule is looking good after this match.
Yeah, what I am excited about though is how good Leviatán look.
Dude.
Man, like,
I mean, do we start putting them in contention for maybe top 3 NA VCT up with the likes of Loud and Sentinels?
I mean, at this point, you have to.
Or are they the best?
You have to. There may be like a Sentinels Cloud9 Leviatán at this point. This is just crazy. Yeah. I think parity brings out the best in leagues like this, and I think we just saw today this Leviatán roster that was built to do this is finally clicking. It's starting to come together. Again, Tom feels like he's playing with a breath of fresh air. He seems so loose. He seems so comfortable. Mazzino top frag Oh no, I'm sorry, Aspas took over. But Mazzino, effectively
played
top ranked
great.
2
In
games
this
in a
series,
row.
he played great.
On a roster that has Aspas, on a roster that has King. Everything went well for them today.
And gotta shout out Tex and Com, the supporting figures of this roster. They really stepped it up, because I feel like the narrative for a while was, Mazzino, King, and Aspas doing really well, and the support just not quite there for Tex and Com, and they really, really did a good job of stepping it up and being there for their teammates and just doing the right plays and setting them up.
26-8 in rounds over this series.
And
26-8.
for NRG, the tough thing is when you lose this bad, you don't even know if it was like the strats or if your just aim was bad. You don't actually get genuine feedback from a match like this because you just got blown out.
Yeah, where do you start?
It's tough. It's tough. Maybe on another day, this could have gone differently. They did the same things. Maybe their aim was a little bit better. It would have gone differently. Yeah, this was just a stomping, to say the least.
Well, and again, I think for Leviatán, everything is clicking at just the right time. They're finding their footing. The chemistry looks like the best it's ever been, where everybody is contributing. They had really cool ideas on how they approach maps. Again, I think about that push through U-Haul into backside on Bind and how they have a lot going on. There's a lot to be excited about, and it couldn't have come at a better moment. We're going to throw it down to Elizabeth on the stage for the Horizon post-match interview.
I don't know what I'm gonna say after.
You're all good. Well, I found the real king, everyone. IGL, literal king. Congratulations on 2 very, very convincing maps. Now, I'm asking him a question. I'm kidding. So the narrative going into this was that it was going to go to a map 3, and the NRG were probably going to take it. Quite literally the opposite of what happened. Tell me why you think that happened, why you took it in such convincing fashion in 2.
I mean, we have been preparing a lot. I was saying in the interviews, after losing to Cloud9, we got into like this shock state. We were procking bad. The scrims results were bad. We didn't know how to play. Like, we literally forgot how to play. And after that, as a team, we agreed, like, okay, like, stop joking around, like, lock in again. We do this, we do this. We started prepping so hard. And the only thing we needed to, like, get that leap and be the team that we know we can be was to be like a single team, and the best team that could happen to us was Sentinels.
All right. Well, talk to me about that prep, because I talked to GoKed in between the maps. You said you guys prepped very, very heavy. You're talking about that now. What was the prep with NRG?
I mean, with NRG, obviously, like the maps they had, we saw the 2 series against Furia, and who else was the other team? I forgot.
A-team.
No. Yeah. So we obviously had like a lot of info on Sunset. We prepped Sunset a lot. They picked it into us, so it was pretty good. And I mean, yeah, we just practiced a lot. I did a lot of VOD review. In the maps, we kind of were guessing we were gonna play against them, and we hit the shot.
Yeah, I mean, what is the conversation in between maps when you have such a dominant map? You steal their map pick. Is it very casual? Is it light? Or is it just still very, very serious? Okay, we still have a job to do.
Job's not finished. Like, we know we're in a good momentum, and I told my team as soon as we were entering the bind, I said, I trust in every single one of you. I know you guys trust in me also. And I mean, we just go reset and go out like we're 0-0.
And clear 2-0 victory, incredibly convincing. Congratulations. Give it up for King one more time, everyone. Absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
But we have a guest on the analyst desk. It is Tech, so friends, please take it away.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Yeah, conceding, 8 rounds over the course of an entire series to NRG. We have Tex here from Leviatán. Thanks for joining us, bro.
Thank you.
What a showing. I mean, you have now, in this stage 1, and it's only just the start of Super Week, you've gotten through Sentinels, you've gotten through NRG. Obviously, the Cloud9 game, a little rough start, but I mean, to take those 2 games, those massive opponents out of the running, you must be feeling awesome about playoffs.
Yeah, definitely happy, but we don't get too happy about our wins. We really try to stay focused. Losing to Cloud9 was kind of a wake-up call for us.
Okay.
They're an amazing team. I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but we really felt like we should have won that series, and after that, we really, really locked in. Like, everyone's working so incredibly hard and got the 2 wins.
What was the process after that Cloud9 loss to really lock in, to focus up more? I imagine a lot of hard conversations within the team, because it does look night and day, the performance in that game, especially that map 3, compared to now the match against Sen and this one today.
Yeah, so really, we just started doing a lot of the work, and like the boring work, like a lot of VOD review. Even if we're winning rounds, we're reviewing them, because if we're just winning rounds off of hero plays, then like it's not a good round.
Right.
So like we've really been taking every single round seriously. Everyone has their own job of people calling ults, people calling money. Like we're really trying to be on top of every little small thing, because we just have to be, really.
Who's leading those conversations? Is it Goked? Is it King? Is it kind of a collective team effort?
I would say it's really a team effort, but I definitely think the coaching staff takes initiative on that. But yeah, I mean, we really all bring up the hard conversations. Like after C9, we had a long talk in the prac room, and you know, I was just saying, like, you know, this is unacceptable for us, and we really need to work harder, and it showed.
So since that game versus C9, like how much time, like percentage-wise, was dedicated to actual like scrims and server versus conversations and VOD, would you say?
Yeah, so we added like a VOD reviews throughout our whole prac day. Like we do a VOD review when we first you know, get from the day, and then we do a VOD review in the middle of the day, and then we do a VOD review at the end of the day, when before it wasn't that frequent.
Yeah.
But yeah, really just trying to get our stamina up as well as a team. You know, doing a little more scrims, but we try to keep a good balance because we don't want to be burnt out. But yeah, that's really it.
I mean, we heard from Goked, I think, after the first map, and he said, you guys are really starting to take the scrim form and take it onto the stage, right? Did you guys feel like that was a challenge just to start with? And what's the process been like turning that stage presence into just another day, just another scrim?
Yeah, I mean, at one point we were dominating absolutely every scrim, and we got on the stage and we played very differently as a team.
Frustrating, I'm sure.
Very frustrating, and we just really had to like trust ourselves, you know, and trust each other. We always trusted each other, but I could like feel a little bit of like I'm not saying self-doubt, but you know, we just weren't really playing to our potential, and we just had to talk about it, really. It was a hard conversation.
I want to roll back the clock now to the end of last year. You win Ascension with the Guard. You guys are on top of the world, and then the future kind of looks bleak. You don't know if there's going to be an org, and you make the decision to go off and take this risk, join Leviatán. I wanted to ask, from that moment, winning Ascension, to now, because you're playing a new role, you're with a completely different roster with players that you maybe never would have expected to be playing with. How have you as a player grown from that journey?
Yeah, I'm essentially playing the agent that is the exact opposite of Duelist.
Yeah.
So it definitely was a challenge at the start, especially to kind of find my footing, because like normally I'm dashing in, I'm, you know, satcheling in, but now I'm holding map control, I'm, you know, doing all kinds of different things. So I was definitely struggling a little bit individually for a bit, because I really just had to get used to everything else. And I think I've been evolving a lot as a Sentinel, and I don't think I'm even close to my potential, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just need to keep working. And
were you the person who was pushing and wanting to make that switch, or was it just what was necessary to get the slot on Lev?
Well, I think at first I was going to join Lev as a duelist, and then Aspas just spawned. So then I'm like, okay, well, he's got that. And then the team really liked me, the coaches really liked me, so...
Is there like a ego death about that a little bit?
Honestly, I think Aspas is the only duelist I'll give my duelist away to. Anyone else, I'd be like,
get in the server, 1v1, baby.
Let's 1v1.
I mean, you can't feel bad when he's like almost dropping 50 in matches.
Yeah,
for you
he's
guys.
like plus 35 every match, so I'm like, hey man, you
All
can
good.
have Jet, but
I think like that's a kind of interesting conversation we've been having. We've got a question here in Twitch chat from Plural saying, you know, Moose on Cloud9 was saying that they really try to set Oxy up in a specific way. Do you guys have like the same mindset for Aspas? And you obviously previously having been a duelist, how does that impact how you look to set up Aspas, if at all, to shine?
Yeah, so we definitely try to set him up, but I wouldn't say it's like our entire goal. He just takes a default that we have that's a good default, and he just fries everyone. Like, he's honestly just the best player that'll ever play Valorant.
You feel like he's self-sufficient in that way?
He's the most self-sufficient ever.
Compared to yourself when you were playing Duelist, do you think he's like a player who uses less resources, so to speak? Because there are a lot of Duelists in our league who it's like both initiators full committing into setting them up. But it seems like that's not always the case for Aspas.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely throw him a Vandal here and there because he's just insane. Like, we definitely like try to help him a lot, but he really just doesn't need it. Like, I swear to God, this guy just fries everyone, even if there's no utility, even if there's utility. And like me being a duelist prior, Like I play Gecko on a couple maps now, and I just run around with him. Like I know exactly what he's thinking because I was a duelist before, and I think me and him have like a good connection of playing in game because we play a lot. So like I just run around with him, throw some flashes, and we just fry.
Well, I appreciate your time, Tex, and also your answers, man. It's been great. We'll have you hang out with us here as we sort of wrap things up. Let's have a look now, with the day winding down, at our Alpha and Omega standings. Leviatán here at the top of Omega Group at 2-1 with a whopping +20 map differential. That is extreme. On the other side, we've got obviously Courier, C9 at 3-0 respectively.
Yeah, Tex, what's going on in Omega Group? Like, what's happening to you guys?
Hey, our boys need help. I don't know what's going on, but I mean, they're all incredible teams. I know they can win some games. It won't stay like this.
Yeah.
Now, of course, Super Week continues tomorrow with a couple more matches. That's right. First, it'll be G2 versus Furia, and then it's Cloud9 going up against 100 Thieves. Tex, any thoughts? Of course, you got your boys there overseas on G2. I'm sure you're hoping to see them try and come back a little bit.
For sure. I think G2 is going to have a very good showing against Furia, personally. And I think Cloud9 versus 100 Thieves, man, that's a banger.
How high do you rate Cloud9?
I mean, at this point, you gotta rate them pretty high. Like, I think before everyone was sleeping on them because it's like like people call it the budget roster, but them players are not budget. I'll tell you that. Them boys are cooking.
I mean, look, you guys beat NRG, you beat Sentinel. C9's the only team you couldn't beat so far, so they gotta be decent.
Yeah, they're definitely very good, very well drilled. Oxy's playing out of his mind. That kid has a very amazing future, for sure.
Absolutely. Now, it's 2 days of our Super Week down, but of course, much more to come. Thank you, of course, for joining us so far. Day 3 of Super Week will be kicking off. Plenty more games to be played, a lot to be decided in terms of those standings in Alpha and Omega, respectively. So we'll see you for all that and more tomorrow.
Thanks very much, Tex.
Appreciate it.
9 bullets left, the quick tap, the movement, 7 left, wide in the face. With that weaponry advantage, a hit on top of it, spraying all down and through. I know what the last players, but now here's the noise, and Superman is just left clueless. Oh, my power, ace. Spotting him, it's a slide-off angle to seal that one up. Nice and pretty for Crew. Overwhelming. Position. Yes, they've got the pull, but it's blocking it. Perfection with the movement. I mean, Crew are flexing on them. Final hurrah. It's the Hunter's Fury that has to be counted because he knows that they are approaching him rapidly here. Crew winning map 2. Hey, bro, hey.
Oh, it's going to be too late now. They're all in the smoke. Wow. Tex gets 2.
One enemy remaining.
On the other side of the smoke, they both through. They're so done. Bringing this thing back. There's no way. There's no way. Vizino's got it with the clutch, and of course he does. Aspas is going to be late to the rotate. King in a perfect position. Hit goes in, and King's behind enemy lines. He's so far up. Aspas snaps.
What's up, brother?
They're running him down like a dog.
Complete obliteration from top to bottom. Any given Sunday, Leviatán destroyed NRG.